pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes of May 4th, 2020?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve appropriations ordinance number 19?
I move we approve number 19. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we've had an interesting weekend and some good information, maybe some not so good information. So I would like to read a statement about reopening in the Ad Astra plan for different phases for Kansas. And I'm going to read it so I don't get carried away in the weeds. As mayor, I would like to set the record straight and hopefully give citizens and media a more complete understanding of the situation involving reopening of personal services businesses such as barber shops and beauty shops. Before phase 1 of the Kansas Ad Astra plan to reopen businesses was to start, I sent the following email to a member of the governor's immediate staff. On May 1, 2020 at 2:21, which was the Friday before the plan was supposed to take effect. Good afternoon. I would like to request Governor Kelly reconsider barbershops and beauty salons. Most of the people in McPherson owning these businesses are younger people with families. If they cannot open, they will go bankrupt. Surely the wearing of PPEs by the barber and the customer, plus proper cleaning of the shops and equipment, is a lower risk than people sitting 6 feet away in a restaurant for an hour. People who do not think it is safe do not have to patronize them. I do not want to issue a series of Class C misdemeanors to young people trying to survive financially. Since then, we found out that it could be a Class A. And I signed it, Tom Brown, Mayor, City of McPherson, Kansas. I was told Phase 2 would allow these businesses and the phase strategy would stay in place. When Luke's Barbershop opened last week, I had discussed with the city prosecutor, who had discussions with the city attorney, and I think others. I did not want to issue an arrest warrant. Our McPherson Police Department visited the barbershop multiple times, giving a warning, but did not issue a citation. We were trying to get the barbershop to close until May 18th, when they should be allowed to open. I argued the city should not be the governmental entity to issue any citation. The city had not issued any of the restrictions. Since the city and the county have concurrent law enforcement jurisdiction, my opinion was the county sheriff should be involved. The McPherson County Sheriff made a visit to the barbershop and had a court order for an arrest. He did not deliver it, but asked for voluntary closure. Luke's Barbershop was not open on Saturday to take scheduled appointments. During these multiple visits, PPEs were not being used as portrayed on TV news or stated by Congressman Marshall. The county attorney has jurisdiction in this matter and not the city. During the weekend, discussions were held with the Kansas Attorney General. It was decided the court order for arrest should be withdrawn and not issued. No arrest warrant has ever been given. We are operating with the understanding that reopening non-compliance events will be documented. The Attorney General will study the situation and issue an opinion in 1 to 2 weeks. Neither the city of McPherson nor McPherson County has delivered an arrest warrant to anyone. We were doing everything possible to not issue any kind of citation. Both Sheriff Montaigne and Chief Golden are very people-oriented and empathetic to the situation. They and their staffs are good people. I do not believe we deserve the criticism of the community and the media. We were trying to achieve a reconciliation without escalation. Again, no arrest citation has been given. I have confidence the Attorney General will provide a good solution to this problem. Hopefully, Phase 2 will resolve the issue on May 18th, and there will not be any delay issued. That is the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say, and what we have been trying to do last week and on the week. And I'm just not going to get into weeds. I'll leave it at that. I think that briefly states everything that we're doing, and since I am technically responsible for the police department and had all these discussions of what we were trying to do and what my thoughts were, I felt it necessary to read this. I find it interesting that none of the people that want to report on this ever ask for the rest of the information. So with that, I will leave it. I don't need any approval or anything else. I just wanted to set the record straight for what we've been doing for the last few days. With that, I'll declare the public input session open for any items not on the agenda.
Mayor Brown,
Yes,
can I talk about the food drive, please?
yes, go.
Chief Golden, would you like to join me? So we just wanted to report on the food drive that we had last Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It was a huge success, I feel, and we couldn't have done it without the police department, City of McPherson employees, and the City of McPherson residents were amazing. They donated food, the trolley was full, and we collected $3,966.25 in monetary donations. So even though it rained one day and it was cold the next day, we feel like it was a huge success. Thank you, McPherson. And as we say, McPherson's strong. I'm proud to be from McPherson. Chief?
I believe it was a great event at Dillon's and Walmart. Had some newer officers or younger officers with me who enjoyed the music and did some dancing for the crowd. And everybody was very generous. And I know that we've helped a lot of people in the community from this food bank. So Joni, thanks for inviting us to be a part of it.
Thank you.
It was great.
I would just like to add to that support from the rest of the community, primarily from the business side. Pfizer has committed over $21,000 to the food bank. Half of that is coming from employees and may have already been delivered. The other half will ultimately come from Pfizer's corporate office. That is a sizable donation so the food bank can buy what they need to supplement the donations that we collected, like fill the trolley Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The other thing that has happened, a couple weeks ago, Hutton Construction pulled their workers at the request of CHS from the refinery. They ordered from Outreach in, I think, Union, Iowa, a semi-truck load to be able to package meals. And they paid those people to work in the building out here on the bypass to package meals. And Ben Hutton and Andy Buzzing both came up to participate in that. Each package is a meal for 6 people. And there are different varieties of these meals. I think there's 6 or 7 varieties of meals. They packaged enough meals for 250,000 people. It was reported in the Salina Journal and Hutch News and it was shown that they gave part of these meals to our local food bank as a way of industry pitching in and helping in a way for them to keep paying their employees and help the community at the same time. So between those two things, the food drive here, there should be a lot of people. We are trying to work with the food bank to see if there is any way that they can schedule additional hours. And if they come up with this and let us know, then we will work to help them, because volunteer staffing is an issue. But I am sure if we have a request for additional hours, that we have the people to step in and help people get the food there, other than Tuesday mornings and Friday afternoons. And so we will try to help them in that way as well. So, and we will work after this meeting to come up with whatever it was, $34, $36 that you can take down there, so that we have a nice round $4,000. We're not going to fall that short. We initially were hoping that we could get $2,000 to $2,500, and due to the generosity of our people that patronize Dillon's and Walmart, we far exceeded what we were hoping to do. So thank you, McPherson. Not everything is doom and gloom, and we will get through this thing. I learned from a church person this weekend. You need 3 things to get through this. And there are people that have utilized this, and if you need a little motivation, you can go to your Bible and read about the paralytic. He sat at the pool for 38 years. That's patience. And finally, he received his healing. We've been at this for a couple months, and we can get through it if we have patience. The other thing that we need to exhibit is humility. Part of humility is the same thing that several preachers preached yesterday for Mother's Day. The word inside mothers is others. And that's what we're all about, and we've been asking for weeks. Help your neighbors, help the elderly, help high-risk people, help others. If you have patience, you have humility. If you screw up, repent and get going again in the right direction. You do those 3 things, we'll easily get through this and not have a problem. And that may cause me to get a love letter, but it's okay. I don't mind love letters. Yeah, the love letters are all the people that wished I didn't bring in a faith issue, but that's who I am. Okay. Still don't have anything out there for public input?
Mayor Brown, I have one more thing. Dylan's asked us to come back on May 19th, and I haven't even looked at the calendar to see what day that is. But they're having,
Yeah, it's a week from tomorrow.
It's on a Tuesday, yeah.
Customer Appreciation Day that day, so we thought we'd take the trolley back out for 4
Yeah,
hours.
okay. What Joni's saying, if you couldn't hear, is that we will be back at Dillon's for a food drive on the 19th of May. We will be there, what hours?
We haven't figured it out yet, that just kinda happened.
But most of the day. And May 19th will be Customer Appreciation Day at Dillon's, so I hope as you're appreciated, you'll appreciate the people that need help. I think if people need something, they should let us know. And there are confusing guidelines on every program that has come down the pike. And if you go to sleep for an hour and you get on your computer or iPhone or whatever, you'll find out there's a new issuance of guidance that was different from the
Something
hour
changed.
before.
That's right.
Something changed.
Yeah.
People that normally are self-employed cannot get workers' compensation. But the exception was made to give these people workers' compensation. And I think that Secretary Garcia has been dealing with that. So if you are self-employed and you haven't got anything, you can talk again. Who knows, there may be another thing while I'm talking today that is different from what has happened in the past. People that weren't eligible for PPP, and as of Friday afternoon, in our call for elected officials with the governor, PPP was still available for some funds after the second issuance, as well as EIDL, E-I-D-L, which is a loan, not a forgivable grant. Anybody, I think, can apply for EIDL, EIDL. Talk to your banker, talk to your accountant if you need money. Those funds were still out there. I have listened to too many webinars about how things are available, and I'm amazed each week. I thought, well, I listened to once, do I have to listen to it again? But the guidance is changing constantly, and what wasn't available a month ago is available today. So if you're not getting something or you need something, let us know. If you need PPEs in anticipation of opening, or now you're running short because you did open, let us know. In EOC, if you need something, you can call the city and we can make a request for you. And we may get it, we may not get it, but we are trying to get what anybody needs. The elder care facilities around town have done a good job of contacting us, and we have been successful most of the time. We take the cluster group living, and thanks to our industry liaison, we have decontaminated 18 residences in, I believe, 5 general activity centers. That helped to hold the cluster down to a minimum, no deaths. And we have not had an elder care facility that has any death yet. We are so fortunate. And a lot of this had to do with closing down. And I know there are all kinds of conspiracy theories and everything else out there. But the fact of the matter is, the governor usually cites the Spanish flu of 1912 or 1918, I don't remember. And I talked with industry that has facilities in Europe, and they have found that their best result so far is to go slow. Because if we have to have a more strict time in a month or two, that will hurt us more than the first time. And that's what we're trying to prevent, is not to have a big thing. We are so fortunate here. The projected unemployment from March the 25th to April the 21st was 8% for McPherson. Now, I know we've been operating at 2.5%, 3%. Unbelievable that during that period of time, we were that low. All around Wichita, Sedgwick County is 24.6. I think Kingman County was 24.5. Other counties were in the teens on that. And it will probably get worse for them because they have some industries for other reasons than coronavirus that are going to have layoffs. We have stayed the course, and we could come out of this in phase 2 better than most communities. We're blessed. And we just have to hang in there. Like I said, patience, humility. If we screw up, don't be afraid to say you're sorry and repent. We'll be okay. Okay. Are you done, Joni?
I'm done.
Is there a motion? I'll declare the public input session closed. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as distributed?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next item is public library, and I hope that we are successful in getting Steve on the line, as we weren't a couple weeks ago.
There he is.
Are you on there, Steve?
Hello.
Yep, go ahead, we hear you.
I'm not getting any audio.
We can hear you.
That's the main thing I get.
Yeah, you don't have to guess, it is.
The library may be closed, but services that we are offering, even though we are closed, and Aaron told me that. So I'll make it snappy here. Many libraries. The first one is one that we just started last week. It's called Read Street. It's a program that we're doing in partnership with Midway Motors, and it's home delivery.
We lost
I
you,
think
Steve.
we lost you. I'm going to move on to the next item. Can you dial in us on your phone, and we'll listen to you on your phone?
There he is. He's still talking.
Steve, we lost you.
He can't hear us. Can you call him on his phone? Okay.
And
Yeah.
of course, a lot of people, a great many people come to the library to use the available. Park outside the building, outside the perimeter of the building. If you drive by and you see cars parked outside the library, that's probably the reason why, is that they're using the Wi-Fi. This is one that is really popular these days, is our streaming video service. Again, it's all free, but it is that's a lot of people are enjoying the program called The Great Courses on there. You can watch those on your TV, your laptop, or your mobile device. Ebook goes for free on our website. A lot of people really enjoy listening to downloadable audiobooks on their phone. Also, now's the perfect time to research your family. We have several web pages on the library website that give you a wealth of information about doing both of those, even if we're closed. We also have a special page just on there. You can study for a standardized test. You can even learn a foreign language those are all available for free. We're also doing online book. And also, we're going to do the summer library program this year. It's going to be online, but we've done one every year since the year dot. We're going to keep doing that. And it's all available at www.mackiel.org. And of course, the library staff is also available here. And feel free to give us a call at 245-2570 if you have any questions. And I don't know if I kept the 3 minutes or not, but there you have it.
Yeah, well, I told him he only had 3 to 5 minutes, and then when I told him at the end of the library board meeting, I reduced him to 3. So you did a pretty good job, Steve. It broke up a little bit, but we have delivery service. You can learn a language. There are e-books. You can talk to the library staff. There are various things that you can do. The building does not have to be open to give you all the services that Steve mentioned to you, and we will put those out on our website. If you want to use the library, while you're home, you can use this quite a bit. The other thing is we have never turned the Wi-Fi off. If you don't have Wi-Fi at home, you just go park by the building and it's left on for you to use. So you have free Wi-Fi anywhere around it, and that's why there are parks, people parked in front of the building and around the back to get that. So thank you, Steve. Do you want to say anything about the planned opening?
The library board met last week and are planning on reopening the library on June 15th. We're going to start conducting extensive cleaning starting on June 1st, and on the 15th we're going to open.
Okay, thank you. So June 15th, we're tentatively planning for the library to be open. We have to give 2-week notice to the cleaning contractor. We will do that and get a thorough cleaning, as Steve has said, and move forward. So with that, thank you, Steve, for being on the call today. I'll move to the fire department.
Thank you very much.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
2 items for your consideration this morning. First item, the restoration process has started for the McPherson's 1928 American LaFrance fire truck. The individual working on the truck requested a release of liability from the city attorney, has reviewed it and the document, and we request a motion to approve the release of liability and authorize the mayor to sign it.
I'll move that we approve the release of liability for the 1928 American LaFrance fire truck restoration and authorize the mayor, who's ever sitting here, to sign it.
Our second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Second item for you is the fire department's requesting the purchase of a used light tower for a rescue apparatus, and we're having difficulty operating safely on incidents outside of the city. The MassWoo gave some dollars to this earlier in the year, and we just by happenstance found this tower, and it's about half the price of what a new one is. So we approached you guys last week about it, and
Okay,
I'd like to request a motion to move forward with it.
was in study session last week. We have made other fire department cuts to make room for this, plus the donation from MassWoo. So I'd like to move to approve the purchase of the command light tower from Weiss Fire and Safety Equipment LLC for amount not to exceed $18,275.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's all I have for you, unless you have questions.
No.
Thank you.
Call on Chief Golden.
Good morning.
Morning.
2020 Police Week and 2020 Peace Officers Memorial Day information and request for Law Enforcement Day proclamation. National Police Week honors the service and sacrifice of U.S. law enforcement officers. In recognition of our officers' service to McPherson and the officers we lost decades ago, Each of you, as well as all community members, pending the governor's orders, are invited to attend a brief ceremony on Friday, May 15th, 2020, at 8:30 in the morning at the McPherson Cemetery. Wreaths will be laid at the graves of 2 local police officers, Night Chief Charles M. Bruce and Night Chief Martin Grant, who were killed in the line of duty. The service will also be shared on social media for those who would be able to attend online or on their cell phones. So what I have is a motion to approve the proclamation designating the week of Sunday, May 10th to Saturday, May 16th, 2020 as Police Week, and May 15th, 2020 as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and proclamation is included.
I'll read the proclamation. Whereas in 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation which designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which that date falls as Police Week. Whereas in 1994, President Bill Clinton amended the proclamation directing on May 15th all government buildings fly the flag of the United States at half-staff in recognition of peace officers who have fallen in the line of duty. Whereas law enforcement is a vital public service, whereas members of law enforcement are ready to put their lives on the line to protect citizens' lives, families, and property. Whereas law enforcement officer is killed in the line of duty every 51 hours in the United States. Whereas in honor of those 146 fallen heroes who lost their lives in 2019 in the performance of their duty, and whereas to the date 22,274 officers have been killed in the line of duty. Of these, 308 were Kansans, 2 of which were from McPherson. And this to be signed this 11th day of May 2020. Is there a motion to approve this?
I so move.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we have an Overland Park policeman this year, and the governor has changed the rules on flying the flag at half-staff to include first responders. And so this will be a permanent change that we remember these people, but we would remember the officer from Overland Park on Friday regardless. So,
And yesterday, McPherson was recognized as Detective Carr and Officer Watts did take a patrol unit and went up there for the memorial and parade that ensued. I just want to remind everybody that the police department is the community. We will support and defend our community, and we love our community. And that's what I have.
Thank you. Call on Wayne Burns.
Good morning.
Morning.
Have a couple items. The first one is to make a conditional job offer to Blade Anderson as a seasonal maintenance worker for the cemetery.
I'd make the motion to approve making a conditional job offer to Blade Anderson for the position of seasonal maintenance at the cemetery pending successful background check and additional testing, effective May 18th, 2020.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The next one is an invoice from Midwest Turf for annual aerification at Turkey Creek Golf Course, requesting you accept the invoice of $2,700.
I'd make the motion to approve payment to Midwest Turf to perform annual green aerification at Turkey Creek Golf Course for an amount not to exceed $2,700.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Call on Jeff Woodward, Public Works.
Morning, everyone.
Morning,
Morning.
Jeff.
First item I have for your consideration is out of the engineering department. It's time to renew our annual Integrity GIS website hosting. This is an annual budgeted expense. The cost is $4,800. Runs from May 1st, 2020 to April 30th, 2021.
I move that we approve payment to Midland GIS Solutions LLC for 1 year of Integrity website hosting, which runs from May 1, 2020 through April 30, 2021 for an amount not to exceed $4,800.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The next item is out of the street department. We have a curb that needed to be replaced at 224 South Main. Replacing this curb with stand-up curb will effectively close off an entrance that is too close to the intersection. The sidewalk was also out of ADA compliance. We put an estimate together in the amount of $3,274.34 for materials only. Of that, $1,971.96 was material for the sidewalk. The property owner has paid to the city the $1,971.96.
I move that we approve curb replacement and sidewalk at 224 South Main Street for a cost not to exceed $3,274.34 material only. The property owner has paid $1,971.96 for sidewalk material.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
In conjunction with that, the Main and Sutherland intersection is the next traffic signal intersection we're going to replace. It's necessary to rebuild the northwest corner of the intersection, rebuild the ADA ramps, and lengthen the storm pipe 12 feet. This work is in conjunction with the work noted above and the BPU water line installation to avoid duplication of repairs.
I move that we approve curb replacement, storm sewer, and ADA ramp at northwest corner of the intersection of Main and Sutherland Street for a cost not to exceed $3,269.36 for material.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
On April 27, 2020, the Commission approved repair of a parking area in the 200 block of West Euclid for an amount not to exceed $3,656.54 for materials only. At the time of repair, additional street had to be removed and replaced. The repairs are now complete, and the actual cost of the repair was $4,103.25, an increase of $446.71.
I move that we approve increasing the April 27, 2020 approval for $3,656.54 to $4,103.25, an increase of $446.71 for the repair of street parking along the 200 block of West Euclid for material only.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Again, out of the street department, while using the Montezuma tree saw, a tree got entangled in the wiring harness, pulling out the wiring pigtail. We received an invoice for the repairs from Bobcat Line Incorporated in the amount of $1,731.01.
I move that we approve payment to Bobcat Salina for needed repairs to the Montezuma tree saw for an amount not to exceed $1,731.01.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
On January 6, 2020, the Commission approved $50,117.86 for the parking lot repairs at the fire department. The work is now complete, and the total cost was $50,502.10, an overrun of $384.24 from the original estimate.
Move that we increase the approval for the fire department parking lot improvements by $384.24 for the original $50,117.86 approved on January 6, 2020 for an amount not to exceed $50,502.10 for material only, and bill the fire department $10,502.10, which is the amount over the original $40,000 transfer.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The next item is an access agreement with Burns McDonald. We have two requests from Burns McDonald to install monitoring wells. The first request is for a location near 1060 West Kansas and 904 West Euclid. These are in the city right away. The second request is a location near the intersection of West Euclid and North Augustus. KDHE has contracted with Burns McDonald to install the monitoring wells in order to conduct an environmental investigation.
I move that we allow Burns and McDonald to install monitoring wells to conduct a subsurface investigation of public right-of-way near 1060 West Kansas and 904 West Euclid and near the intersection of West Euclid and Augusta Street. Authorize the mayor to sign the access agreement.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Finally, I'd like to give you an update on the construction projects we have ongoing at this time. First is an update on the Grimes-Anna Street reconstruction project. Work continued on excavation of Grimes Street, Loomis to Hulse. Installation of rock base is scheduled for this week. Grimes Street is completely closed from Loomis to Hulse, and Hulse Street is still closed to through traffic from Grimes to North High Drive. Next is an update on the Hardup Elizabeth Street reconstruction project. Hardup Street Elizabeth to Hancock was opened up on Saturday to local traffic, still closed to through traffic. Curb and gutter is completed on the first 350-foot section south of Hancock. The intersection of Hardup and Hancock will remain open, this allowing the contractor to work two areas at one time. Removals from Elizabeth Street intersection to Kansas Avenue and removals of Elizabeth Street Hardup to Park are scheduled to start this week. Reminder that Hardup Street Avenue A to Hancock is closed to through traffic with local access from Avenue A and sides. Through traffic on Hardup is detoured onto Park. Hardup Street remains closed again to through traffic between Hancock and Elizabeth. Next is an update on the Hulse area drainage project. Pavement patching was on Crescent and Hulse is now complete. Work continues on the retaining wall and work on the box culvert at Crescent continues. Hulse Street is still closed to through traffic. Crescent is completely closed, and Wheeler will be closed sometime this week. Next is an update on the Plaza East Place Street reconstruction project, Phase 3, which is the very east end. All Phase 3 pavement was placed last week. Work on the retaining wall and pavement sealing is scheduled for this week. Normal access is still closed off, and a temporary access road is in use into Days Inn and Holiday Inn Express. Next, an update on the Chestnut Street improvement project. Installation of storm sewer starting at the south end, and saw cuts for removal were started last week and will continue this week. Traffic is being carried through construction. Street parking is going to be very limited during this construction. And finally, I'd like to remind everyone that weekly construction updates, road closures and detours, and planned road closures and planned detours are available on the city's website at www.mcpcity.com. That's all I have unless there are any questions.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, the next item is reappointment of John Holtis to the McPherson Board of Public Utilities, and he's been on there for several years now, and we feel he should be reappointed, so I'd like to move to reappoint John Holtis to the McPherson Board of Public Utilities for a 3-year term beginning June 1, 2020.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Gal on Nick Gregory for administrative report.
As a result of Memorial Day holiday falling on May 25th of 2020, the city commission meeting will be, we're asking to be held on Tuesday, May 26th we would need a formal motion to go ahead and move that meeting to the Tuesday, as we typically do in any given year.
I'll move to approve moving the city commission meeting on Monday, May 25th to Tuesday, May 26, 2020.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Over the weekend, we received a request from the city of Lindsborg. And back in October of 2018, we wrote a letter of support for a project that they're doing that includes work to an interchange and overpass demolition proposal that they submitted to KDOT. They are wanting to submit a similar request to the U.S. Department of Transportation as part of the BUILD program, I think as we discussed back in 2018, it was it's a critical thing for Lindsborg, and Lindsborg being one of our partners, we wanted to definitely come out and be able to support some of their efforts to secure some funds to do some improvements. With that, staff's recommendation is that we go ahead and allow Mayor Brown to submit a similar letter with the request as Greg Dumar, city manager's made a request.
Been working with Secretary Lorenz of KDOT for the last year and supported several of the regional meetings and attended them. We do not have a KDOT project. We're just trying to wrap up what we do. Lindsborg had a project. We supported Lindsborg project here a couple different ways. And now if they can get onto the federal build program, we want to support them again and send the same letter to Secretary Chow at the Department of Transportation in Washington in hopes that they will find approval for the Lindsborg project. So I would like to move to authorize the mayor to sign the letter of support as well as the other commissioners for the Lindsborg project.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. That's basically the same project that was started in
Yeah, it's
October
it's
22, isn't that?
yeah.
That's correct.
It's
Okay.
exact same thing, and I gave Commissioner Mel
Okay.
a copy because he wasn't here when the letter was sent before. But we will get the letter put together and let you guys know when you can come in and sign it.
Good.
Okay, I'd like to call on Janetta for update on the city budget preparation sessions. We have some changes in dates.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners.
morning.
Good morning, public. As we discussed last week during the study session, it's that time of the year where we present the 2021 budget request from department heads as well as the outside agencies. There has been some modifications made to the schedule as presented last week. This is due to the hopes of opening up the commission meetings to the public. And so we've changed them from this week to next week, starting on Monday after the study session, probably as it's scheduled, all-day meetings with department heads. And then continuing on Tuesday, May 19th, with budget presentations by department heads. And then switching to the 27th after Memorial Day for the outside agencies to come in and present. The schedule is attached. I just ask that everybody be flexible on time. Some may run longer, some may run shorter, so if you could show up maybe 15 minutes beforehand, just in case there are some changes to that. So with that being said, if there's not any further changes, we'll just go forward with that schedule. Thank you.
Okay.
Accept your suggestion.
Thank you.
Okay, approval of wages.
There are a number of pay memos for your consideration today. They include Blade Anderson Cemetery seasonal going from $8 to $9.50 per hour effective May 18th. Kyle Askren, Police Department Patrol Sergeant going from $27.49 to $28.31 effective May 18th. Patrick Carr, Police Department Detective going from $23.55 to $24.75 effective May 18th. Jessica Dirks, Police Department Detective going from $23.55 to $24.75 effective May 18th. Brady Winkler, Police Department Patrol Officer going from $22.41 to $23.79 effective May 18th. Gary Tillett, Street Department Street Superintendent going from $32.83 to $33.49 effective May 18th. And Kyle Cottrell, Street Department Equipment Operator 1 going from $17.62 to $18.70 effective May 18th.
I move that we accept the 7 wages as read.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
A week ago, I was on Saturday taking one of my many loads from the tree line behind me to the transfer station, and somebody had cut down a cedar tree, and it was two big pieces laying in the middle of the road on Northview. And Officer Winkler, who was up for evaluation and whatever, had parked his patrol car in the middle of the eastbound lane, so nobody would run over these big branches. The person must not have known what they do, and I had not totally full load, so I pulled around him and backed up so that the two of us could put it on my pickup truck. I told him I was his boss, and I'd give him a hand so he didn't have to call to have it picked up. And so we were able jointly to do that. And the funny part is, by the time I got there, waited in line and got in, there was a truck with a big trailer, and it was only half unloaded of cedar trees. And I said, I think I have something that belongs to you guys. And they wanted to know if they could come and help me unload. And I said, no, I'll pull it off myself, but you need to tie down. If you're lucky you dropped it when you did, or you probably would have got a citation. We would have given a citation for that, right? Okay. So anyway, sometimes you do pleasurable things. Okay. I would like to move to recess this city commission session in order to do the study sessions, and then we will come back in session in case we have anything out of the study session that we have to deal with this week. Oh, I so move.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
In the city commission meeting, except for Joni.
Sorry, I have one more thing
You
to
come
say.
up to the microphone then.
Okay, I'll do this. So I just wanted to clear up something about the motels that I had said earlier might be closing. I was out last week checking on my motels. It was National Travel and Tourism Week, and they were actually cleaning one of the motels that they said they were going to be closing. So as far as I know, they're going to reopen both the motels that they said that had closed. So just want to clear that up to you and the public that definitely the Days Inn is opening back up. They were cleaning that, and the Sure Stay, they're planning on that as well.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're just hoping that we've done well enough that we'll see, particularly starting next Monday, a whole lot of things opening up, and we'll do better. But with that, I'd like to move that we don't see anything for a Wednesday meeting.
No, not at this point.
Okay, so we will not have an extra city commission meeting this coming Wednesday, and the EOC meeting will be not do anything in that meeting to bring anything for us to have to do. So I'd like to move we adjourn the city commission meeting May 11th, 2020.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you to everybody that's been on the call. See you again.
This conference is no longer being recorded.